You know, there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
It's Justin from Alborn, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. And today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome Mr. Justin Taylor of Alborn. And Alborn has released its new EP entitled Push via Pavement Entertainment, and Push features 4 songs. The first 3 were produced by Chris Collier and James Fluff Harley of CMC 21 Productions, who have worked with Korn, and the 4th song was produced by Morgan Rose and Jose Urquiza. And also check out their single and video for Push. So Justin, welcome to the podcast, and how you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
How's the tour going so far with Power Man 5000? How's it going?
It was smooth, dude. It was a lot less complications than I was anticipating, you know.
So was the turnout really good?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like way just every element of it, I think, was just more than I expected. You know, like there was a good several hundred people at the giant venues and then small venues. You know, like even the, like a couple. I think the one was like a bar and grill, and it was, you couldn't walk through it. You know, it was wild. It was a good time, man.
So would you say coming out of the pandemic, shows are now having more people than say previously?
We weren't traveling far pre-COVID, but I did ask Spider from Power Man about that, and he said he's noticed a massive difference. Like just that people actually want to like experience a show now, knowing what it's like to not be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do think it's made a big difference, and I think that like people are helping the bands more than they have. You know, it seems like the lines at the merch tables are longer and stuff. So yeah, I think it made a difference for the better. In a, you know, it was hard to see it as that for the longest time. You know,
this band formed in 2016. What's that nucleus that still keeps this band together and moving right along like nothing ever happened?
I think us 4 get along like incredibly well. You know, like I think if you were to take out the music entirely, like we'd all still just be best friends, you know. But at the same time, I don't think any of us really think we have a purpose like in life other than what we're doing, you know. So it's almost like anytime we get that kick in the ass or knocked down or something doesn't go our way, it's like we just brush it off, you know. It doesn't really beat us up too bad.
Alborn's sound has been compared to Deftones or a heavier version of Alice in Chains. Do you like being in that realm of those two bands, man, or do you just like to be left alone and be like, look, no, we're just Alborn, that's all?
I've heard them all, you know, and I'm honestly flattered by all of them, because, you know, I learned that like that's a method of communication that people that don't know a band use to make somebody else understand it, you know. So I mean, that's awesome. Them two bands are kick ass, you know. I mean, I think you could compare us to Britney Spears and I'd still be like, well, hell yeah, man. I don't know where you're hearing that, but she's got a lot more success than me, so I'm good with that, you know.
You can just come back with, oh, baby, baby.
Hell yeah. Don't tempt me, dude. We'll do it.
So entering 2022, you guys hooked up again with Sevendust and Plush. You guys have hooked up with Sevendust before. What's the special being with those guys out on tour?
I think the acceptance from their people is probably my favorite thing. Like, you know, very obviously going to Atlanta, like nobody knew who we were, you know. And I mean, that the rest of the show, I couldn't stop talking to new people, you know, like they just coming out of the woodworks. So, I mean, but it just feels like, and I've met a lot of people even before the shows with them, they just got a bond, man. They're just like their own community. It seems like Sevendust people are just like an army of just diehards, but not the type of diehard that won't embrace something else too. Like this comes first, but we love it all.
The special thing to me about Sevendust is they don't have that ego or I'm a rock star.
Right. And it shows, it's very transparent.
Yes. They treat anybody and everybody that I've ever seen them deal with the same as me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were sitting in a bar with these guys and you didn't know who they were, they'd be just regular Joes.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually did that too. I went with Morgan to Atlanta, and we went to a bar, and he goes, I like this bar just because I don't ever get asked about music. He goes, not that I don't like that, but it's nice to just get away. And dude, that's exactly what it was. It was just a regular time. Like, everybody knew him, but it was just a regular time, really chill, laid back atmosphere. It was awesome. It was a good time.
So what's been the most heated discussion the band has had about a song being worked on, or maybe even an album name or cover inside Alborn's rehearsal studio, man? What's been the most heated one that you've been like, now we got to use this one?
I think battling which song we're going to play, I mean, there's a lot of it, like when we're making the song, but when it comes down to picking one, we try to play Cause to Create every show. And that's a tune of ours that's incredibly intricate, very demanding on every single member. But there's one member that doesn't ever not want to play it. And so we're just like, if it's like one of them shows, it's like a hometown show and it's laid back, or if it's a different show, it's only like we only get 20 minutes. I'm like, do we really got to squeeze that in? And then we'll go at it. But it's tough, man. It's just like, it doesn't give you an opportunity to breathe. The whole thing, like I kick myself in the ass now because I'm like, why wasn't I considering my own well-being when I made this?
What's been a song though that's not been played that should be played more live from you guys? That, in your own opinion?
We have played a lot of unreleased stuff, and that's always risky. I'm not crazy about doing it, but there's a couple of them that I would love to be released and be heard, but I think with what we have out now, which is unfortunate because it's probably my favorite of our catalog, but Even Numbers off the new EP, we played that once live, and I don't see that happening very much more. It's just it's a same deal. It's demanding, but it's demanding in a different way, and it's like it's a lighter, more vulnerable tune, so it's a hard one to get into the mood when the rest of our show is just ass kicking, punchy, slamming type stuff,
How excited are you to have the second EP push in the Alborn Music Library, especially having another one in here for you guys?
I'm actually not at all. It upsets me because I want a full length album, and it's like, there's so many reasons why it's not feasible right now. And that just pisses me off. So, I mean, anytime I see the EP attached to push, I know that's what it is. I know that's what we had to do, but I don't want, I know that's like the modern age, the single game and the EP game, but I just don't want to be that, I want a full 12, 13 songs that are in an order for a reason, and to give it the best, give it its full due diligence. You have to listen to it start to finish, because that's what I always did, and I mean, even the day of your favorite albums, that doesn't even exist anymore.
No. No.
So I mean, I get trying to keep up with the times, but I would rather put out a full length for sure.
I remember,
I'm very proud of this new EP,
I remember, and I'm going to give my age here, but I remember going back when I was a kid and going to the store and reading Hit Parader and Circus Magazine and stuff to figure out when, and watching MTV when MTV was good.
Right.
When Guns N' Roses or Metallica was coming out with a new album or a new single or stuff like that, and like you said, man, you're right. Those days are far few in between.
Yeah.
It's an EP or a single. But that actually was going to be my next question, though. Second EP, did it just call for the EP, or did you want to put out a full length album and just save all these songs and then just do a full length?
I'll be honest, dude. During the COVID thing, I think we wrote somewhere around 80 or 90 songs, and most of them are like damn near finished. And we just, I mean, we could take them all to a studio now and have easily, at the very, very least, if we wanted to nitpick like crazy, one very, very solid album, in our opinion. It's like, it's money, dude. I mean, the shit costs so much, and there's so much into planning. And I hate that that's a stick in the mud for it. You know, I hate that comes in between it, but it just does. You know, I mean, when you're spending, oh God, you know, $3-4 grand a song, like it's just not possible to do an album at the moment, you know?
Yeah, you're right. And I see why now bands just do EP route, because it costs so much. Unless you have an in-house producer or somebody, then, you know, you can.
But then you got to compete with everybody else, you know, and it just doesn't, like, we were blessed to find Chrissy, because everything about his mix was exactly what we love, but also up to everybody else's standards. So it just worked out perfect. But even like price wise for him, he's incredibly reasonable. So it's not like we can find somebody cheaper that's as good. That's not even like a question, you know? I mean, we do pretty good quality demos out of our little studio, but like, that's the extent of it. They're demos, you know? So, I mean, you're kind of at the mercy of somebody that has years and years of experience to be able to put you at the same tier as everybody else, you know?
Did the Push EP, Justin, have to come out swinging for this band after this pandemic? Did it have to come out swinging for you guys or no?
In terms of making moves for us, not completely. Maybe just for like our own sanity, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because we've continued to build even during the pandemic, like in our area, but now it's like it's time to expand, and we all know that, you know? So we needed it to branch out. So I mean, I guess technically, yeah.
Was the track placement important on this EP, or since it's an EP, no, just throw them all on there?
Yeah, I mean, with the 4, I don't think it would have made any sense any other way, because like you know, the first song does a really good job at like defining who we are. The second one's that a little more catchy, you know. The third one's the lighter, vulnerable one, and then it ends heavy as hell. So it's, yeah, I mean, we definitely thought about it.
So what led the self-titled track Push to be the first song released off this EP? What was it about that song that said that's got to be going out first for us?
I think just that the hook of it, the catchiness of it, you know, it was the easiest one of the 4 to digest, I think, you know. And like we had previously like done the slightly pondering to the audience and trying to fit into this niche or whatever, this formula, and we threw all that away for this EP. And then ironically, we wrote a tune that's like technically right in this thing that we're told we, you know, like the chorus has to come quick, it has to be 3 minutes and whatever else, and this tune just happened to like all of that happen in one tune, you know. So it was kind of an easy choice because of that, you know.
Are these all brand new songs, or songs that didn't make the debut EP Imperative in 2020, or these just left in the vault?
One song was an older one, the last one. That we've had that one around for a while, but we've been playing it around here forever. So all of our people that know us already know the song. They just haven't heard it finished, you know. The other 3 were all brand new.
Was there a track that you were working on that totally ended up sounding different than it was intended to for this EP?
Not this one. That happened on our last one. This one, we talked with Chrissy and Fluff, and like kind of as a group decided what songs we wanted to work on. So we spent, and this was months in advance. So we had like ample time to go through it and proof it out as much as we could, you know. So yeah, these ones actually ended up really close to the demos.
I know there's only 4 tracks on this EP, but are there any tracks standing out more to you than any right now, possibly? I know these are your babies and stuff, but are they any sticking out?
I think Even Numbers, just because it's it's a completely different side of anything that we've done. You know, I mean, it still has all the elements of what we do, you know, the punch and the heavy and a little bit of screaming, but it's almost like this secret that I've been holding on to, you know, cause like I really like chill music, you know, like real laid back, cool, clean guitars and stuff, but there's not enough opportunities in our music to do that. And it's funny to even think like that, because who the hell would care if we did that anyways, you know? And that was kind of the attitude going into this. It's like, we're not 3 Days Grace, you know, we're not Breaking Benjamin. Like we can do stuff that the fans don't expect, because it, you know, our audience is this big, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's okay. So that one, just because of the risks that were involved, you know, I think that one's probably my favorite.
I mean, it's that big for now. Let's just say that. It's just that big for now. So.
I hope so. You know, just gotta keep the playing field level, you know?
What's the growth musically you've seen from yourselves working on this EP compared to 2020's debut, Imperative? Is there anything, man, it's like gotten better? You've seen somebody improve, like, wow, you've gotten a lot better since the debut.
When we started this band, I mean, as the group, it was 2016, but it was me and the drummer have been like this tight since we were born, you know? So then to grow up and then start this band, our attitude was always this like, fuck you attitude, which for better or for worse, we grew out of that, and I'm glad we did. But now we're kind of like back into that only with the music, you know? So I think the biggest growth for this EP especially is just all of us not trying so hard, you know? Like, you can't force yourself to sit in a chair and stare at a screen and write a hit or your best song or your most intricate song, or you can't try to sound like something. It just has to happen, you know? Yeah. And just getting in tune with that and like trusting the process more, you know, I think has really shown its evolution like with this EP, you know? Like now I can listen back and nothing about the EP pisses me off. Like, I'm the harshest critic of my own stuff, and I will always listen to my stuff and be like, I wish I wouldn't have done that, or I don't like the way that sounds, and I don't do that with this EP. And I think that's why. It's just because we kind of let the guard down and was like, whatever happens, happens, you know?
Has the band hit its stride in its music, or are you guys still scratching that surface? I know you guys are still a young band, but do you think it's hit its stride or still growing?
I don't know. I think like, well, I know that we know what we want to do. I think it's portraying it to everybody else that we need to like fine tune maybe. Just in regards of like, you know, like we were talking earlier, the comparisons to other bands definitely don't upset me. But if I'm not hearing that at all, like, where's the disconnection? You know, like we get compared to Breaking Ben frequently, and of course that's not a bad thing, but I don't hear that at all. So it's like I gotta keep listening to our own stuff and be like, what? Like not what are we doing wrong, but how do we stand out more or something? You know, I mean, it's just a weird thing. It's hard to be, it's hard to get the attention of anybody right now. You know, especially when we don't have fucking fireworks going off on stage and big robes and this giant wardrobe. Like, we're just regular dudes, you know, and we want to stay regular dudes, you know?
So who did the artwork for the EP?
That was Alex Zarek. He did the music video. And then we were talking about the concept, and he's like, I do graphic art too. And we're like, perfect. Gave him the idea and ran with it.
What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to these new songs, or just Alborn's music in general, Justin? What do you hope they get from it, man, if anything?
I just hope, I mean, if there's some kind of emotional connection to some of the content that's talked about, or just a relation, you know, that would be great. Cause I know what I sing about isn't rare. Like, it's a very common thing, but it's something that I don't feel like is talked about in songs as much, you know, like, really the idea of just being stuck at the day job and wanting to pursue this as a career, you know? I mean, that's something that almost every band I've ever worked with is dealing with, but that's not what their songs are about. Like, that's the only thing I sing about, you know? And then musically, I just want everybody to bang their fucking head, you know? If everybody can jam out, that means you're doing something right, you know? So if you can do that while like having this little heartfelt thing, you know, that'd be best case for me.
I know growing up, and I know you still have a lot of music today that you still listen to, but do you still have a go-to album or a song that you find yourself going back to and listening to from time to time that you cannot and will not kick out no matter what anybody tells you? You got to listen to it.
I got a lot, and I'm unfortunately a creature of habit when it comes to stuff like that. I think no matter what mood I'm in, or what I'm doing, I think Koi no Yoken by Deftones, that album start to finish, I could listen to forever.
$1 million question. And I say this on every episode that I do. This is the $1 million question. I don't care what anybody says. This is my schnick, whatever, my stitch, as I should say. If you could be a member of an iconic band and play one of their legendary shows and be a member of that band at that time, what band would it be and what show would it be?
I don't know about show wise, but I think the Doors.
Oh, okay.
I think I'd want to be in on that because there's so many instruments on stage, and you're just like, you can see it in their concerts. Everybody's just staring at Jim Morrison like, are we good to go to the next part, or like, are you gonna keep going on a cocaine rampage? You know?
Yeah, and you didn't know what you were gonna get.
Yeah, every show, you know. But that would be fun, you know. Like everything now is so structured to just be that free and like nervous. You know, that would be awesome.
I remember like reading so much stuff on Jim Morrison being arrested after the show or during the show of the stuff that he did on stage. And I'm like, today it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was an innovator on so many levels, but that stage presence, you know, that dude would give you something to remember every show, you know.
Love the Doors, man. I still love the Doors to this day. I mean, The End. I mean, I know the cliche songs, of course, but they've had a lot of sleepers that should have been more popular than The End and Light My Fire and stuff like that. Oh man. They're the perfect band to like put on shuffle and just let it go through their stuff, you know, because it seems like every time I do, I hear one I haven't heard before, and I'm like, where has this been, you know? All right, Justin, how can folks stay in touch with Alborn, buy this new EP, Everything Under the Sun, of the name of Alborn? How can you do that, sir?
We are everywhere on the socials. We got a website, allbornmusic.com. Yeah, we're on all of it.
I will have all of these links in this podcast when it goes live. When I drop you, all these links will be in there. And before I let you go, Justin, would you care to do a promo for my show?
For sure. It's Justin from Alborn, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We've got some great interviews coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please get out, check out our Facebook page. There's a podcast link and that YouTube link that you want to go to subscribe to. If you like what I'm doing, if you like my interviews and everything, please go subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. Also, check out Alborn, their new EP entitled Push via Pavement Entertainment. It's out right now. Go pick it out. Go pick it up, check it out, give this band a fair shot, and you will like it. Justin, thank you so much for doing this interview with me, my man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.